Hello and welcome to the Employee Factory, your go-to destination for AI and LLM technical education. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of production AI. We'll be focusing heavily on production latency optimization, specifically the techniques and best practices for reducing AI model latency, but we're also going to shatter a very common illusion in the tech world. You see, the idea that building the AI is the hard part? Totally false. Wiring up an agent and watching it do something magical one time is actually the easy part. The truly difficult part is running that AI in production. We are talking about rigorous evaluations, extreme latency optimization to prevent user frustration, and rock-solid security. Let's get into it. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're covering the production AI reality, measuring real performance, evaluating unstructured outputs, optimizing inference, securing autonomous agents, and finally, the continuous production loop. All right, section 1, the production AI reality. Now, as we move from building, cool weekend projects to deploying robust enterprise systems, we really have to face some harsh engineering truths immediately. Now, I have a question for you. What if 99% accuracy is a total failure? I know it sounds nuts. If you see a 99% on a test, you think you nailed it, right? But if you're building something like a bank fraud detector, a 99% accuracy score can completely hide a disastrous reality. That single number is wildly misleading out in the real world. A confusion matrix brilliantly illustrates exactly where the bodies are buried here. It doesn't just tell you if the model was right, it tells you exactly how it was wrong. Your shiny 99% accuracy might actually mean an 82% false alarm rate. That means for every 100 times your AI flags a transaction, 82 of them are perfectly fine. You are literally constantly blocking innocent customers, creating a complete customer service nightmare, all while the executives upstairs think the system is nearly perfect. Moving on to section 2, measuring real AI performance. We can't just use a simple magnifying glass at a major crime scene, right? We need the right forensics kit for the specific task at hand. The absolute crucial point here is knowing when to use what. So if you're sorting data into categories, like our fraud detector, you need precision, which measures your false alarms, and recall, which measures if you caught all the actual bad guys. But if you switch to predicting an exact number, like a house price, you need entirely different tools. You use mean absolute error to find the average size of your mistakes, and root mean squared error, which heavily penalizes massive, costly errors. Section 3, evaluating unstructured outputs. Traditional metrics are great for clean numbers, but what happens when the AI isn't predicting a simple number? Today, models are generating open-ended text and calling complex tools. It's a massive shift. We've moved from grading objective multiple-choice tests with clean labels to grading subjective, messy essays. If you ask an LLM to summarize an article, 100 different answers could all be technically correct. There is no single answer key anymore, which makes evaluating AI agents incredibly tricky. Surprisingly, though, the solution to this problem is quite elegant. It all starts with a golden data set. Now, this doesn't need to be huge. About 50 carefully chosen examples of good and bad outputs is plenty. But this simple dataset becomes your ultimate grading rubric. It is the foundational source of truth for measuring if your agent is actually improving when you tweak things, or if you're quietly breaking it behind the scenes. And if you point your LLM to your own private data using Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, you'll actually work backward from that golden dataset to pick specific retrieval metrics. You'll use things like recall at K and NDCG to ensure your system isn't just generating nice-sounding text, but is actually grabbing the most highly relevant, correct documents from your database to form that answer in the first place. Section 4, optimizing inference. This is where production latency optimization really comes into play. So how do we serve these huge models to multiple concurrent users without the system buckling and user latency spiking? Well, this massive number, 60 to 80%, represents the amount of expensive GPU memory completely wasted by traditional inference engines. They pre-allocate contiguous space for what's called the KV cache, essentially preparing for the worst-case scenario on every single request. It's an incredibly inefficient game of memory Tetris, and it is a massive bottleneck for latency. To fix this latency issue and get your throughput up, systems like VLLM use a technique called paged attention. It's absolutely brilliant because it borrows a concept directly from your computer's operating system. Instead of blocking out massive, rigid chunks of memory, it divides the KV cache into small, token-sized pages and allocates them strictly on demand. The result is just incredible for production latency optimization. By packing more requests into memory at once, without wasting space, VLM skyrockets your throughput. Your tokens per second shoot straight up, often allowing you to serve 4 to 5 times more concurrent users on the exact same GPU hardware. It literally turns a basic model setup into a lightning-fast, production-ready inference server. Of course, optimizing the model's math is only half the battle. If you need to optimize your data retrieval alongside your LLM, you really have to look at your database architecture. Pairing your fast model with a sub-millisecond in-memory database like Redis ensures your data loading isn't the new bottleneck. Redis keeps data in the main computer memory, bypassing those slow disk reads, allowing for extreme latency reduction at scale. Section 5. Securing autonomous agents. Okay, so now that our agent is blazing fast and highly accurate, we have to face a slightly darker reality. Giving an AI autonomy opens up terrifying new security vectors. An agent doesn't just talk anymore, it executes. That means it is vulnerable to critical threats: prompt injection, tool misuse, memory poisoning, data exfiltration, and runaway execution. It can get caught in infinite loops, burning through your API budget, or worse, be tricked into leaking your internal data. The most notorious of these is prompt injection, and it is a massive risk. Imagine your AI is hooked up to read and summarize your emails. An attacker sends an innocent-looking email that secretly contains hidden text commanding the AI to send your local passwords to a remote server. Because the AI is reading that context, it gets hijacked from the inside and just blindly complies, exposing your entire system. To defend against this, you absolutely must lock things down. You have to restrict tool permissions so the AI simply cannot execute dangerous commands, like deleting folders. You must isolate its execution environment in a secure sandbox and explicitly separate system instructions from user inputs, so the model always knows who is actually in charge. Finally, Section 6, the continuous production loop. Evaluation, optimization, and security aren't just boxes you check right before launch and then forget about. They represent a continuous living system. To keep this system running smoothly, you'll deploy 4 types of evaluators. You have the human gold standard, the live but noisy user feedback, and fast code-based checks. But to really scale this, you're going to rely heavily on LLM as a judge. That's where you use a powerful model to grade the open-ended outputs of your smaller models, provided you constantly audit it against your human baseline to make sure it's judging accurately. This loop is essentially your automated testing for AI. You run your baseline, isolate exactly where the agent breaks, fix the prompt or the retrieval pipeline, and then, and this is the absolutely crucial part, you rerun the entire test. This ensures that fixing one edge case didn't accidentally break something else that was working perfectly fine yesterday. Ultimately, guessing if your AI works based on a few manual vibe space tests is a recipe for a production disaster. There's a great quote that perfectly summarizes this. Building AI agents without a threat model is like deploying software without testing. Security and evaluation must be designed in from day one, not slapped on after the fact. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Cloud providers update their models quietly all the time. Your agent's behavior could literally shift while you're sleeping. So if your underlying LLM model updates overnight, will your production loop catch the behavioral drift before your users do? Keep asking yourself that critical question as you build. If you can confidently answer yes, you are well on your way to mastering true AI engineering. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you in the next one.